It's a beautiful early season day, but because it's early season, there's some pretty sketchy conditions and sketchy sections. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to ride early season conditions, how to deal with the sketch, and what to look out for. I'm going to use this run to explain the 3 principles I base my early season riding around, and that's being stacked over top of a snowboard, making sure I'm not leaning in one direction or the other. Because there's a lot of warm weather, there's a bunch of chunks, there's going to be sections of ice that no matter how good your form is, no matter how good of a snowboarder you are, you're not going to be able to hold an edge through them. Right now, it's a decent top section, but as we get lower where it's being more melted, it's going to get harder and harder. So the most important thing is to go and keep ourselves compressed over top of our snowboard, and this is going to make us more stable and able to handle little icy sections if they come at us. And then the next thing we want to do is really look where we're going. Watching where we're going is so key because there's going to be good sections of snow and bad sections of snow. So like here, there's a little bit of fluff. It's decent, not too bad. So like this actually looks pretty sick and we can launch it, knowing that there's some bumps afterwards. So planning out your turns, where to carve, where to slow down, where you can set an edge is so important during this time of season. So like now that we're in a mogul field, planning is going to be so important, and you're going to see a lot of mogul fields like this at the start of the year. And you'll notice through the actual moguls themselves, it's so icy I can't hold an edge. Even traversing, I'm absolutely getting wrecked. But when I look at these, I can see that there's more snow to the left and there's more snow on top. It's like that's a very normal fall. So like here, I'm just going to want to go across, actually sliding across the tops of the mogul fields because there's a little less ice, while keeping myself stacked over top of the board, planning and looking for a good section to go and slow down. No matter how good you are, this is going to be hard to ride through. And now that I see it's clear, there's good snow ahead, I can just bomb and charge through, stay flat base. And now I'm looking for a soft patch of snow, and I'm going to go and slow down using it. And the last thing is we want to keep ourselves low on our snowboard, but with proper body mechanics. A lot of people, when they hear, oh, be low on your snowboard, they think, get down, get completely squared. Well, demo it in a sec. This is just some rocky terrain I decided to come on here. This is going to be a little bonus section just on the importance of good form and how you actually want to use this position to load powerful, because it's going to make things so much easier. So first of all, I want to say this form is what I use for pretty much everything. Jumping, it naturally sets you up. Carving, it lets you get you lower, and it's just going to be a really powerful building block that will actually take you to the next level of snowboarding. It's flexible and best done with other movements, but woohoo! It's really what you want to think about and ground yourself over. A lot of people think that this is the strong position, squared in the board, and when I squat, I keep my chest up and squat down, but this is going to make me fall back because it relies on leaning. And when it's icy, we really don't want to be leaning. There's actually 3 motions that go into doing a proper low down squat position that will let you utilize your turn. First is a little bit of opening of the hips. When we're squared, it's going to be restricted and it's going to be tough to expand our body. But as soon as we open our hips a bit, it now lets us drop our weight while staying more over top of our snowboard. The next part is, instead of keeping the spine straight, what's going to make it so as we squat down, our weight shifts more and more to the heels, what will make us lean. Instead, we want to have our hips back and a little bit of hinge forward. So that way, now when we squat down, we're really loading our weight onto it. And then the last thing is doing all these motions in correlation. So the more I want to get onto that edge, the more I can open my hips, the more I can drop my body, the more I need to pull up my hips. That's moving with all 3 of these movements in correlation. That lets you really load an edge and lock in, and that's going to be really important when carving in these really icy conditions. Because if we try push out and lean, as soon as we hit ice, we're going to slip out. So open the hips, pull them back, drop the upper body forward, chest over knees, and that way when you squat down, it will expand into this motion, loading so much pressure onto that edge while keeping your weight still overset your board. And I personally like letting my hips shift back a little bit. You can have your hips forward if you want to do like faster turns, but I like a little bit of set back weight because I do a lot of jumping and a lot of alling. And when you're like stack centered and you do a jump, both feet. But when you do this position, upper body forward, hips back, and you do a jump, It naturally eases you off the tail and pulls you to the nose. So I just like it as the base of all my snowboarding. I'm going to make more videos on this, but I just figured it's important context for the rest of this video. Oh, so that's what I'm talking about. Some ice is just too icy to stand on. There, I was just putting on my mitt and got taken out. So it can get you if you're not aware for it. And that's our like early season, like people are getting biffed on this ice patch. So that's why we want to make sure our stance is like over so we can like tackle it without relying on leaning. As soon as you're leaning back on one of these slopes, you're going to be boned. So last lap, I explained the 3 principles. We want to be over top of our board. We don't want to be setting our edge by leaning, and we want to be watching where we're going and planning our turns. And in this run, I'm going to go and demonstrate how I use them. So Ali's vigilant, Ali's watching. Here, there's a little more snow, less traction, so we're able to go and hold an edge and actually feel more comfortable on our board. The side berm, not going to be nearly as chewed out. When we're going through here, we want to go and look for those soft patches of snow while keeping stack. And the thing that makes this position work is shifting your hips slightly to the back foot and the upper body over. This lets me go and get a lot lower, and from here, if I do slip out, I'm going to slip out onto my bum instead of like falling. When we get into the mogul field, this is going to be more important, and because we're shifted back, it's going to let us move our legs really independently to our upper body, and this is going to give us that micro control. So if we feel like we're slipping out, here's an ice patch, we can adjust it really easily. So notice how my upper body's forward, hips back, and now I'm able to squat low while keeping myself over top of my board. Holding that forever is going to be really tiring, so we want to go and fluctuate. And with good snow, we can relax it, calm it, and then as it gets worse, we want to crouch it down. And this is actually the same position we want for jumping. Now we're getting to a little bit of a steeper section, so it's going to be more icy. Like here, completely sheer ice, and it's bumpy afterwards. So planning is going to be really important. I'm going to plan, going to the right side, ice patch here, flat base, slow down, and now I can straight bomb through here because I see the snow's good. Depending on the lighting, this is going to be a lot harder, and that's why bad lighting and bad ice are the double combo that really makes snowboarding tricky, no matter how good you are. We're getting into a mogul field, and this is perfect for what I'm trying to demonstrate. Way too icy throughout the sections. I can't hold an edge at all. This is a sketchy situation. Let me go and demonstrate first how to get up if you fall, because falling is going to happen when you're on ice like this. So if I fall here and get slipping on my bum, I don't want to try dart my legs forward to stop it. Here it's working because it's not so steep. But I actually want to pull my legs into me like this. So I'm on my back and I'm pulling my legs into me. So I'm in this strong position here, and that's going to let me absorb it. Like here, I can really dig in my foot. I can use my hand. It's going to let me control it. And that's why we want to be a little more crouched down when we think we could be falling, so we don't get the wind shook out of us and slam and need to navigate. Now just keeping my board, keeping over top of my board, watching where I'm going. And the important thing here is like, ride for what the conditions offer. I'd love to lay some really long turns, but instead I gotta stay stacked, control speed, put my weight really solid over top of my board by pulling my upper body forward, shifting the hips back, and that's going to let me navigate this terrain a lot easier. Phew. And being safe this early season, that's the most important thing. This is the time of year where you can get hurt and get bucked for absolutely no good reason. So you want to go, live by these 3 principles, look where you're going, don't lean away from your snowboard, and lead the turns through weight shifting instead of going and putting yourself in a compromised state. Oh my God. And don't lower your guard. If you do that, you should be able to navigate bad terrain and the early season with relative ease. Relative is the key word there.